A gentleman asked about the Louisiana Purchase. I don't like calling it the Louisiana Purchase. Makes it sound like I went to a store and saw Louisiana on a shelf over here, and Tejas over there on a shelf, and Canada up, and I decided, oh, Louisiana. But you can call it a purchase, I suppose. It's a treaty, and we gained land in exchange for money and other goods. How to make it happen? I inherited a crisis when I became president. Southwestern territories were threatened to secede and join Spain. They thought the New England trading states weren't respecting their needs. Napoleon had just come to power. Where we are now was under direct threat because the Louisiana Territory had just moved from Spain, the power of Spain, a weak nation, into the hands of Napoleon, into the hands of France. The Mississippi was the entranceway to all our western territories, and Napoleon was planning to invade. Well, I sent Robert Livingston, who had worked with me on the Declaration of Independence so many years before, to go to France and negotiate the purchase of just some land in New Orleans for docking rights, so all our farmers across the Appalachian Mountains would know they could use the only highways that could make them competitive, the rivers, to take their goods to New Orleans, switch them over to ocean-going vessels, and compete with the eastern farmers. That would help bind our nation further together. And Congress approved $9 million. Took a while, so I sent James Monroe to hurry things up. Come along in 1803, James Monroe and Robert Livingston send back an offer. Napoleon got impatient, needed some more cash. He was fighting everyone, and wars are expensive, and told us, well, instead of just a little bit of New Orleans for $9 million, why don't I sell you all Louisiana Territory for $15 million? It's less than 4 cents an acre, thank you very much. Good opportunity, but not constitutional. 10th Amendment says if the Constitution doesn't give the government explicit permission, the government can't do it. I've been saying that for the previous 14 years, yelling at Alexander Hamilton in committee meetings. So I was caught in a quandary. This was obviously good for America, and yet it was unconstitutional. What was I to do? This is why I get headaches. I turned to James Madison, my Secretary of State, a good constitutional advisor. He said, do it anyway. I wrote 2 constitutional amendments to make it possible. He said, the Federalists can't block you, but they have enough that they can slow down or block an amendment, and they'll block anything you do, even if it hurts America, just to make you look bad. So I sent it to the Senate as a treaty. The Senate approved it. Oh, Napoleon only gave us 9 months, too. We were running out of time. He was famous for being mercurial. So sent it to the Senate. They approved it, sent it back. But that's not the end of the story. And it should not be the end of the precedent that I set. The executive branch is the branch equipped to act swiftly. The judicial branch is meant to be reflective and meant to act slowly. The legislative branch is designed to act slowly, and they do an excellent job of that. The executive can act swiftly in emergencies. For instance, when there is a lacunae in the Constitution that neither forbids or allows. And as a leader, you walk out before the people you lead, but that means you're the first to get hit. And you must take risks as a leader, which is what I did. And so the way I explained it then, I explain it now. In an election year, 1804, I turned to the American people. I could have kept it quiet, been reelected easily. Instead, I published what we had done, the price, the boundaries as we knew them. Talleyrand had kept them somewhat vague. And I said to the American people, here, this is what I've done for you. Have I done for you what you would have done for yourselves had you been given the time, i.e. a constitutional amendment? If they'd elected somebody else, thrown me out of office, well, that would have been a clear sign that I'd overstepped my boundaries as president. I could have been impeached. I could not have argued with that. It was unconstitutional. They didn't impeach me. As a matter of fact, I was reelected overwhelmingly. Now, the fact that I was reelected isn't the judgment here, isn't the final lesson, the precedent I hope I set. The precedent I hope I set is that, yes, the president sometimes has to act swiftly, but then he has to turn back to the people because he is their servant. And if he has acted swiftly, another metaphor I used was like the servant whose master has gone away and giving 2 servants charge over a certain amount of money, equal amount of money. One servant, too fearful of doing anything that he wasn't given direct instructions to do, hides that money, buries it in the ground, it's safe. The other servant takes a risk, invests it, comes back 2-fold, 3-fold. When the master comes back, which one of the servants is he going to love more? Now that risk could hurt you, but that's what I did.